a space where I give you strategy and tips for entrepreneurship, relationships, and personal development. Happy Wednesday, happy hump day. I hope you're having an amazing week so far. Today, I want to talk to you about clarity in relationships. There's this question, and that question is, what are we? When I think about the times that I have asked this question of a guy, or the times where I've held myself back from asking, but I really wanted to, two thoughts always come to mind. The first one being, yuck, disgusting. What am I thinking? This is crazy. And the second one being, why don't I know the answer already? And when you're interacting with people in any capacity, so this can be at work, this can be with your friends, your family member, intimate relationships, any capacity, clarity allows you to build trust and to feel safe. And what trust and safety do for you is that they give you the green light to move forward, to work harder, and to go deeper. So the way this works at work is that when you're working with somebody and you know what's happening with your job, you know what the prospects are, you know your ability to grow, you know what they want out of you, and you're clear on your role, you're clear on what success looks like, what failure looks like, you're able to work harder. You're able to be more calm at work, allowing you to be more clear, to even be more creative, just because you don't have this looming confusion hanging over your head like a dark cloud, not allowing you to focus on the task at hand because you don't know what's next. You don't know if you could be fired. You don't know what's happening, right? And the same thing happens in our relationships, right? When you know what we are, when you know who you're with and what's going on, you're able to feel safe and trust that person. And the more we trust people, the deeper we're able to go with them, the more we're able to let our guard down, the more they're able to experience the abundance of who you are because you feel like that's a safe space to do it. Whereas if you don't feel that trust, when you don't have that clarity of the direction of the relationship, you'll just be moving around, super hesitant, unsure of what's happening, and also protecting yourself. So you might want to do that great thing for him. But because of the fact that you don't know where you stand, that great thing, if given too early, or that gesture might tilt the balance out of equilibrium, right? Like if you're doing a bunch of stuff out of the kindness of your heart for someone who doesn't even have kindness in their heart for you, at the end of the day, even if you feel happy, prideful, if you feel joy in that good deed that you've done, there might come a point where you feel exploited because you were doing it with the expectation that they would reciprocate in their version of that both of you had equal amounts of skin in the game and that you were committed to whatever it was. But then the moment that you're doing a bunch of good gestures for someone who can barely do anything for you except for say thank you and accept your good gestures, you end up in a situation where that clarity leads to a lot of vulnerability. You no longer feel safe. You feel taken advantage of. You have no trust and you retreat for self-preservation, right? So when there isn't clarity, it's hard to know what to do because you don't know where you're going, right? Like when we talk about clarity, it's really clarity of vision at the end of the day. Hypothetical vision or literal vision. But if I see that this future that we're trying to build together, we both have the same expectations of what this future will look like and what we're leading towards, then cool, we both have clarity of the future. If I'm at this job and you're telling me that, in the next 5 months, we're looking to give a promotion. And if you do your role well, your role is a feeder to that promotion, then you have clarity on the motivation to do the things you want to do, right? And this clarity really determines how much energy you put in. When you know where you're going and it's somewhere worthy of going to, you put in the effort to go there. But at the same time, if you see where you're going and you decide, I'm not really interested in going there, you're going to reduce the amount of energy and effort that you put in. And at the same time, you'll be able to help you answer that question of, am I doing too much? And too much, I don't believe that we as individuals can be too much. we are an abundance of who we are. And some people will find that overwhelming. And then some people will be like, oh, that's what you have. Give me a little bit more of it. Give me all of it. I want it. Right. But this type of too much that I'm talking about is the feeling of overexerting ourselves in a place where that level of energy is not worthy. So I end up feeling like I do too much when I do things for people who don't have gratitude, when I expect that from them. If you're giving to charity, I don't think gratitude is the expectation. But if I'm getting to know somebody and I put in effort, gratitude and reciprocity are expectations. And the moment those are void in that relationship, I start to feel like I'm doing too much when I continue to move at a level that doesn't feel balanced in the way that it should, right? And that usually comes from a lack of clarity. And then something else is that it literally lets you answer the question of, is it worth it? When you know where something is headed, you can decide whether or not you want to go there. And if it's worth what it's going to take to go there, right? Counting the cost and deciding, yes, you might want a certain job, you might want a certain pay level, but they want you to work 16-hour days. And for you, they've told you in the job interview, this is a job that requires you to work 16-hour days. And this is what we're going to need from you, but we're going to pay you the money that you've always dreamed of. And then you can decide, okay, this is what they're giving me. This is what I have to give. Do they balance? And if the answer is yes, we power on. And if the answer is no, we retreat expeditiously and get out of the way. So I have a few questions that you should ask people who you're in relationship with: professional relationship, personal, romantic, platonic, familial relationship, any type of relationship, to really get clarity. And these questions are for getting to know someone, but also if you're already struggling with clarity in that relationship, these are some questions that you can ask. And when you ask these questions, the answers will give you that clarity you require. And then you'll have enough information to move forward and do the things that you feel are best for you. So the first question is, what are we in this for? And that question is right now, like, what is our intention in this relationship at this moment? Is it the same? Some of us get into relationships with people and we date intentionally. Like, I'm not going to date. I want to date. And if this goes well, my intention is marriage down the line. Whereas somebody else says, I just like good vibes and chill people. And if you're chill, I could keep dating you for as long as whatever. And I have no goals or ambitions to be married at all. So I think that's a very important one to ask, right? Like, what are we in this for? In this moment, yes, we're getting to know each other. And that could even be, yes, I'm starting this job with the job description. Yes, I'm a member of this family, but what are we in this for right now? The next question that really stems off of that one is, what are our intended outcomes? Or where do you see this going ideally? And ideally is a very important point to make, because yes, even when we do have clarity about where we want to go, what we want to do, life happens. It's not every single plan that we have that goes straight to a T of what we envisioned it to be. But at the same time, if we're walking in with clarity of what we hope it can be, when it doesn't happen that way, somebody doesn't feel cheated, because it wasn't that we were on two different pages, but we were on the same page, and then we didn't write the same conclusion to the story at the end of the day, right? So really ask, what are the intended outcomes, and get that answer, and that answer will give you so much clarity. Another question to ask is, what will make us feel satisfied? So you ask the person, what will make you feel satisfied? They will ask you, what will make you feel satisfied? And I think satisfaction is a question or an emotion that we rarely discuss, but it's very important in having clarity, right? Because with love languages and things of that nature, sometimes you could be doing every single thing in your power to make somebody feel good, but you're doing it in a way that they don't absorb, or not in the most ideal way for them to feel the magnitude of what you're doing. So you might end up feeling like you're completely overexerting yourself. They're sitting there saying, I'm not satisfied with this. And both of you are not satisfied because you're not communicating and getting the clarity of what actually leads you to satisfaction. Some people need to be complimented all day long, and other people just want to be in your space. But if you're not hanging out with the person who needs to be in, who wants to be in your space, and you're texting them a bunch of compliments, checking in on them, seeing how their day is all day long, but you're not doing what they really need, they might feel neglected. Whereas you're like, oh my gosh, I love compliments, and this person hardly gives me any, and they want to hang out, but they barely even compliment me or talk to me all day. So why would they think I want to hang out with them? And it's because both of you are speaking two different languages to each other. And that miscommunication is leaving you without enough clarity to, one, understand how the person acts, what makes them feel comfortable and satisfied, and how you can do that. And also how you interpret their care. Like, if I know that somebody loves to give compliments and that's how they show love, when they give compliments, I will hold it in regard, even if I'm not a big compliment person, because I understand that that is important to them. Right? So this is really where you get that clarity. Another question is, what do we need from one another? And this is in jobs, right? You get that job description. In families, you need to do the same thing. Like, what are your responsibilities in this relationship? What do you need from me? And what do I need from you? And needs are more of the non-negotiables, right? Like, feeling satisfied and feeling happy are more so nice to haves, necessary in many relationships and in most relationships, of course, to some degree. But what do you need from one another are the baseline fundamental requirements that will allow the other person to feel safe and to trust you. Another question that you need to ask is, what are our boundaries? We live very different lives from everyone around us, and some of the things that you grew up with that were absolutely okay for you are not okay for other people. And the only way to get that clarity and to not offend someone or make somebody feel uncomfortable, or to not be offended yourself or to be made to feel uncomfortable yourself, is to ask these questions, right? Some people are okay with people swearing at them in jest. Like, some people will say, oh, shut up, to their boyfriend. And I'm like, please don't ever tell me to shut up, even if it's in a joke. I don't like it. It's a boundary of mine. I'm not comfortable, right? Whereas somebody else might be able to say that to their mother. So getting into relationship with me, they would feel comfortable doing that because that's what they've learned. But because we haven't communicated, there's no clarity on the boundaries of what should be said, what shouldn't be said, what should be done, what shouldn't be done, what's appropriate and what is inappropriate. So those are the questions to ask when you are entering into relationship or trying to maintain a good relationship and really just have clarity within that space. So if anybody tells you that you're doing too much by asking for clarity, I want you to take that as a red flag. Be it a job, be it a person, be it a contract that somebody wants you to sign and they're rushing you to sign it without giving you enough time to read it, or they're not giving you the opportunity for conversation and discourse back and forth. Take it as a red flag. You deserve to know where your life and relationships are headed, and anybody who tells you that that's too much of a request probably wants to take advantage of you, and you have the right to step away from that. So anybody who wants to go with the flow can sit on a raft in the middle of the ocean and vibe out over there. They do not get to go with the flow with your life or think that they have access to do that to you. You deserve to have the clarity that you require, and asking for it should not be a task or something way too big for them to manage. And if it is, I've told you once, I'll tell you again, take it as a red flag and proceed with caution. Because if people can't tell you what you want to hear, especially when you're asking for it, chances are that the answer is something that you probably don't want to know, you wouldn't be comfortable with, or something that they know that if they told you, they wouldn't get what they wanted out of you, which at the end of the day is exploitation as well. So yeah, please have these conversations this week. Talk to the people in your relationships, talk to your bosses, talk to your vendors, talk to your friends, talk to your significant others and your family members, and get that clarity, friend. Thank you so much for listening. Don't forget to subscribe, review, rate, share with a friend, please. Share with a friend, and maybe this will be the primer to starting that conversation with them. And have an amazing week, and I'll talk to you next Wednesday. Bye.